Okay, so next we have Jonathan O'Brien from the Dry Cleaner app to talk to you about the benefits of joining an app and the technology of the future. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you. All right, thanks for a great opportunity to speak here again. Over the last 2 years, I've spoken at a number of events. This actually was one of the first I presented at 2 years ago, where the idea for the Dry Cleaner app was shown, but I didn't have anything physical at the time. Now, the idea of scheduling collection and delivery online is nothing new. It's been done for years, whether it's through websites, by phone, and probably half our members already have a web presence online where they accept collection and delivery. But mobile now is crucial for business, okay? We've all seen how the on-demand economy and the idea of booking a taxi or takeaway or scheduling an appointment at the salon, this is all normal practice nowadays. These are huge companies, and the garment care industry is moving in that direction, as we've seen definitely in the last year, where you've got half a dozen people now applying for this area, whether it be online or on mobile, okay? Now, the Dry Cleaner app connects customers directly with their shop, no intermediary, which means that the customer knows which shop they're dealing with. It's a very local-based business, so from launching the app initially, we've seen that a lot of the customers would be existing customers who've moved from contacting by phone to contacting now by mobile, okay? And this is definitely the way it's going. Now, each shop operates independently from each other with their own prices, their own services, their own collection and delivery times, their own minimum order, okay? Exactly like they do offline. Now, in the last few months, we've introduced bill pay based on feedback from customers who've basically said to us, and we've only been running this around the Northwest Manchester area. I have moved on London now, and our marketing campaign will begin there once this show is over. The start of May, we kick off in London and bring several hundred shops online. Now, the feedback from customers and from store owners initially was, look, Jonathan, customers who are using the app and that aren't prepaying, we arrive at their house and they're looking to pay by credit card. What do we do? So we introduced bill pay. The customer can now pay instantly with credit or debit card using the application on delivery. Okay, cuts out stores who are carrying cash or one of these machines where you can take the payment, which I've seen some stores using. Okay. Over the next few months, we're going to introduce over the next month, it's nearly complete, we're going to introduce web booking, which basically also allows the customers to not only book through the app, but to book directly through the website. That'll be mobile optimized as well. Okay? That again is based on feedback from customers and store owners. Now, the business model is based on a fixed subscription service. Store owners pay $20 a month to be able to log in through our website and update their own services, their own prices, and take themselves online and offline if they wish. Okay? Which means that if a driver isn't working or a store is on holidays, you can just log in and click offline and you don't appear on the app, or you appear with a temporarily unavailable sign. Okay? Sorry, the iPad's after locking. And the customer pays a booking fee when they place an order, a £2 booking fee for the customer. The shops pay no commission on sales. Whatever orders you get are between the customer and the store owner. We don't interfere in that side of the business. Like I said, the main thing with this business is that the customer is connecting directly with the shop. They're scheduling their collection delivery time, and they're paying then by cash or card directly through the app or on delivery. Now, the app currently has just under 500 shops on it, with more than half of those have been activated. And when I say activated, what I mean is that the shops are basically taking control of this themselves. They're uploading their own prices, their own services. We now don't have control over that. It's separate from what we're doing. We maintain some shops who maybe aren't comfortable in putting their own prices and services, but most of the shops are now activating their own accounts. One of them in London, you can see on the app, Milligan Dry Cleaners has done a fantastic job. about 8 or 10 categories, and that's exactly the way it should work. The shops need to be able to take control of it, because it's literally not feasible for us anymore to be uploading prices and services. And for it to be done in real time, the shop owner or manager needs to control all this. Okay. Now, I'm at stand 37 if anyone would like to come visit us and discuss the business, and I'm happy to take questions from anyone.
Sorry, does the £20 a month, does that include VAT?
Sorry, it's 20 plus VAT a month.
Okay, so all you take from that then is the £20 a month, and then the £2 plus VAT.
No, £2 booking fee. That's not inclusive. That's not inclusive VAT.
So how do you take that fee then?
It automatically comes when the customer places the order. They have to pay the booking fee. Similar like you would with Hostel World. If any of you've used booking hostels, you pay a deposit. We've set it up so that if a customer is prepaying, they'll pay for the lot and the £2 is included. But if they're not prepaying, the £2 booking fee still has to be paid. This solves two problems. It solves orders that may not be real orders. So a person cannot place an order on the app and just have it sent through, and the shop then is ringing a person that maybe doesn't exist, because there has been some false orders, and this is one of the main benefits. I moved to Manchester 2 years ago. I'm based at Media City there, and I started the business there for the very reason that it gave me an opportunity to prepare before I entered the London market. I got to fine-tune the app, make changes based on what the store owners were telling me, which was bill pay was one of the massive ones, which stores said to me, look, we need a way of being able to collect the payment on delivery and to avoid cash if possible. Now, I also introduced fast checkout, which is for a customer who doesn't want to select, I've got one suit, one shirt, one pants, and some ironing. They can just select the services that they want. Now, it'll come up that the shop may have a minimum order of £20, like the previous lady was explaining. We have the same. The shops, though, decide what their minimum order is. They decide their own prices. They operate independently from each other, exactly like they do offline. And that's the way, like my family have dry cleaners. I've worked in a dry cleaners. I studied computer science. I've been on both sides of it, and I've built the business based around the customer and the shop owner. And I think that in the long term, now, I focused in the last 2 years on building up the infrastructure, which was building up the shop numbers. But once the show now ends, we're moving on to the marketing. I have to move on the marketing side of it, which is even a bigger project. But I didn't see any point doing any marketing until you had the infrastructure in place to take the orders, because we didn't want a situation where a driver was driving 10 or 15 miles for 3 or 4 shirts. That's no good for anybody. And the shop owner's not going to be happy. The customer may not be happy because it may be late with the stuff coming back, or the shop may not service that area.
Sorry, just to clarify then, so if the customer is looking through your app to use a service, whether it's dry cleaning or whatever,
Wet cleaning as well.
they have to pay wet cleaning. So
Yeah, very fashionable now.
they have to pay whatever the minimum order is through your bill payment then.
No, they have to pay if the shop has a minimum order of 20, and they've ordered for a suit. It'll come up on the summary before the order goes through that this shop has a minimum order of £20, but your total is only £16. So they will have a £20 bill. They pay directly through the app, yes. Yes, if it's a prepaid order. For an order that's using fast checkout and you don't know what the bill is, they're sending you a bag of dry cleaning maybe, that's totted up and it's billed on delivery. But the booking fee is always taken through the app. Anybody else? Yes? I'm based in Media City in Manchester. A lot of great tech companies are there, but we've enlisted the E-Word, which is a great online marketing agency. They're going to actually run our online marketing. We've also agreed with several radio stations, including Global, which has got 8 or 10 spread around the UK, to run a radio campaign for us. But there's going to be a lot of it have to be invested in it, and it's going to be over the next 6 to 8 months getting it out to customers. But Facebook install app, Twitter install, Google AdWords, everything that's available to us online will be used. And I've got the people around me in Media City in Manchester to do that. No, not a problem. They're doing it for several other companies. And I've seen how others like Hassel.com or even Handy.com, which is another great company, their strategy, and I would talk with them quite regularly to see the best ways to go about it. But without the infrastructure in place, there was never, I never saw a point in doing a full marketing campaign until that was there. So it avoids a lot of problems. Now we've nearly every area across the UK covered, and even Dublin. When I left Ireland, like there was no shops doing collection delivery. I'd have 40 now in Dublin on the app that have just started in the last year, and this is down to other people coming into the industry. Whether, and I'm not going to talk about specific ones, but there's half a dozen, whether it be websites or apps, where you can now do this. But I believe the only way for it to be done correctly and to last the long term is to have the customer connecting directly with the shop, so you've nobody. If there's a problem or they have a question, they can contact the store directly by the phone number or email. They don't have. There's no point contacting us. If you use Just Eat and your chips are cold, you don't contact Just Eat. Now that's a very poor example, but you can see what I mean. Like there's no point in contacting them. You need to have quick access to the actual shop. And from experience over the last few months, it's a local-based business. A lot of existing customers will end up using it. It may not bring a lot of new business, but what it will do is it'll give you a full presence on mobile. And shops who are investing in apps and in websites, I think is dead money now, considering what I've seen as regards SEO payments, what it's costing to get their website ranked. It's just not feasible anymore for shops to do this. From my point of view, it's a waste of money, and the only place to be is to be a central app, exactly like all the takeaways did years ago. What I'm doing is I'm taking all the websites now who already offer collection and delivery, because it's nothing new, and I'm taking them to a mobile. And that's exactly the way the app works.
Any further questions?
Sorry, I think in your presentation, what protection, what do you provide to your main competitor?
Well, I don't set the price, for one thing. Each shop sets their own prices, their own services, their own collection delivery times. We don't take a commission on sales, which is vitally important. I've seen half a dozen other companies who've moved on this area where they would provide the website or the app, and their business hasn't lasted 12 months. There's no long-term solution to that, because what you have is you've got dozens of these companies then being set up, because a lot of shops won't sign up to that business model. They may for a while, but in the long term, it's just not feasible, because what you're doing is you're giving your existing customers a discount. So that's the way I would look at it, and that's from what the feedback. I visited more shops than anyone, and I've spoke to, over the last 2 years, hundreds of shop owners who said to me, look, this is the only way it can work. Like, it can't work where you're basically handing over X amount to, you call the competitors and that, but you know, it's, from experience anyway, that's what I'm hearing. It doesn't work that way. Next is...
When the customer has a problem with an order, you say the customer to contact you directly, what services does the app provide? Is it contact via first identification, email, or do you expect the customer to call?
A customer can actually ring. You see here now, you've got the email, phone number. They can click on that and they can email them simply. But from experience, a lot of them, they may just ring the shop direct and say, look, I won't be home on Tuesday. I know you're supposed to be dropping my items then. And it's like there's no point in them contacting or emailing us and then us emailing the shop. That creates a work that doesn't need to exist. That's a job that doesn't need to be there. It eliminates that by connecting the customer immediately with the shop. And they're more comfortable dealing. Like, a wedding dress is a great example. Like, you go onto competitors' apps or websites and you'll see that bridal wear probably doesn't exist, simply because no one's going to send their wedding dress to someone they don't know. Where with me, they know the shop they're dealing with, and sending their items to them isn't an issue, because that's the shop they would normally deal with anyway.
What do you do when the payment isn't right with amount of clothing they give to the shop? So say there's one trousers or one shirt more than what they paid for.
That's another reason I introduced the bill pay as well, so that if an order came through and it had 2 suits, 5 shirts, and they prepaid, okay, and then it arrived and it turns out there was an extra 3 shirts, the shop owner would let the customer know, look, we've got an extra 3 shirts. Do you want those processed? I presume 99% of the time they would say yes. And they would use the bill pay to pay on delivery the outstanding balance. So it solves 2 problems It solves the problem that if a customer hasn't prepaid, they can collect on delivery with the app, but also if they've given extra items. But this is another reason where we don't take a commission, because you can't police something like that. I've seen from orders through the app that there was one customer, they'd put down 2 suits, 2 shirts, and because the shop hadn't listed what a price of ties were, they wrote in the note box, I also have several ties. Sure, we couldn't police that, but the shop can police that, no problem. They pick up the stuff, they calculate the bill, and they get the full amount. They don't have to worry about us taking X amount or whatever like that, because it's just too complicated.
Charges for bill payment to the merchant, what sort of percentage?
Well, I have a commercial agreement with PayPal, and they base that on all the shops. This is another advantage of shops coming together and be listed in the one place. They can reduce the actual payment amount that they're paying on fees, whether that be credit card fees. It'd be much less than 2% anyway. No, debit cards and credit cards are used to pay on the app. You can use those, but ours goes through PayPal's payment gateway. They recently bought a company called Braintree, right? And we've integrated that into the app for one specific reason. I'm trying to eliminate a situation where one shop gets 20 orders and then they're all prepaid through the app, and we then have to transfer the money to their account, right? That creates a work for us that we don't need. With Braintree, they can automatically split the payments so that the booking fee comes off and the balance goes directly to the shop. So over the next 8 to 10 weeks, we'll have a situation where shops are being paid in real time on the app. Not like a situation where they're being billed, they bill us, or we send them their payment at the end of every month. In the long term, for me, it doesn't work, because I could have 6 or 7, 1,000 shops by the end of the year, and having to bring in an accounts team to do all this. If it can be done electronically with PayPal, and we're working with them to make that happen, payments go in real time. And so that if you're at the door of a house and they click bill pay, you get an email straight away that says confirmation of payment has been received. It's the only way it'll work, I think, long term. It is called the dry cleaner app. When I first started doing this, mentioning wet cleaning wasn't very popular, but now it's probably the most popular thing in the industry. Like I said, I've been to more shops than anyone, and in the last year, I've seen wet cleaning machines being installed everywhere around the country, and they're sitting alongside dry cleaning. It's now very fashionable, and it's good. I like the machines. I've no personal opinion on wet cleaning, dry cleaning, park. I've cleaned out the still of a park machine many a time. I know all about that. But we have a section for wet cleaners. We do ironing, wet cleaning, laundry. Some are doing key cutting, blind cleaning. It's up to the shop, but we won't move outside the right word for it, which is garment care professionals. But I couldn't call it the garment care professional app, because I don't know, maybe it wouldn't work.
Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much. You want to steal it?
Thank you very much, Jonathan. That was very interesting to hear about the technology coming through the industry.